So NFTs are the hottest space in crypto right now. They're outpacing the tokens, which means they're eating everything. But should you get into NFTs? What are they? Why do they matter? Are they a fad? These are questions that I want to discuss with you today. Let me start by saying I'm a strength lover, I'm a stake lover, I'm a vagabond, been to over 50 countries. I love learning languages. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your fairy godmother. Make your own decisions for where you head in life, and listen to people who are doing things that you want to do, would be my advice. So I bought my first NFT maybe like 6 months ago. I got into them through Theta. I saw it on Theta Drop, and I wasn't really interested. I heard Gary Vee talking about them, and I thought, I don't know, like I'm too busy with my own stuff. I'm not going to get into this right now. So if you feel like that at the moment, then I'm with you. That's exactly how I felt when I first looked at NFTs. And I could see Theta kind of practicing with it, and it was a bit bumpy, and they were doing this Theta Drop thing. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I saw recently, like I started to get more interested in it. I don't remember exactly what the trigger was, but I thought like there's something different about this one. And Theta actually just recently did this secret pineapple society. So secret pineapple society where you could hit a canister and open the canister and you would get a secret pineapple. And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, this is something along the lines of what the Bored Ape Yacht Club was about. And I think I'd heard of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, but I hadn't really looked into it. So things that I think you should know about NFTs, like what are they? It's unique property. So anything that's unique property can potentially sell for a lot of money, like a unique car or baseball card or even a flat, right? Like it doesn't have the utility of a car or a flat. You can't drive it and you can't live in it. But if somebody values it and they want it and you have it, then there's value there. So in the same way that a painting or a piece of jewelry can represent value, then so can an NFT. And at the moment, the financial system, there are a lot of things that are under question. Like it's probably the hardest time in recent history, or maybe ever in history, to know where to put your money. There are people saying that gold and silver are relics of the past, that crypto are going to eat them. There are people saying that printing money and all the money printing that's going on is going to lead to a crash in fiat currencies. There's talk about, central bank digital currencies. Everything is on the table. People say that Bitcoin is, the BTC is not the real one, and that it's BH or BSV. So even whatever you're in, there is a strong argument that you're a fool. Property is in a bubble, according to a lot of people. So everybody's telling me my house has massively increased in value. Does that mean that the dollar has just decreased in value, and therefore, you have to use more and more fiat to get a house? People say that housing prices spike before they crash, before a significant crash. I don't know. So what people are looking for is a place to put their money at the moment, and NFTs are one such place. And it's turned out that people are willing to put a lot of money into them. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club, their NFTs are around about $200,000 floor price at the moment. And that gets you a picture of a bored ape and the celebrity that goes with it. I think they're building a club in Miami. And members of that club are going to have something that they connect on and resonate with each other. So there is an example of this thing that's sort of, it's a new phenomenon of like, you want this digital membership. But if you look at it, it's not really new from the sense of like country clubs and those sorts of things have existed for a long time, elite groups of people. So you might think, well, how would an NFT make you elite? Well, if it costs a couple of $100,000 to have one, then most people can't have one. And the cool thing, I guess, with the pineapples that have just come out is it's really like the early adopters of Theta Network. So the people who really believe in Theta Network. What's cool about the Theta, it's very interesting and somewhat challenging. Like if you look at this guy, so I bought this guy because he looks like the most Theta NFT out of all of them. Like he's just blue and he's got a Theta logo as a face. I did not actually know what Squid Games are at the time. But I thought, this project is going somewhere, therefore this NFT is going to go somewhere. So I purchased that, and that's led me to understand and to dive a lot deeper into what NFTs are and why someone might be interested in them. So you can look at an NFT as a store of value. Like, that is how some people are looking at NFTs. Now, what's interesting about the Theta one with Squid Games and all of these, they've done, Spider-Man and Deadpool and RoboCop, and there's a whole bunch of references that I don't really know, like pop culture references that I don't really know. The fact that they're going after like the biggest, some of the biggest brands in entertainment, like they've made pineapples with those brands, it tells me that Theta is very well connected into those brands, and they have the support and the endorsement of those brands, whether they're going to pay royalties or whether it's just that they have a strong connection in another way, that there's going to be a mutual benefit. No one else has that kind of play in NFTs. I don't want to make this all about the secret pineapple society, but maybe it's painting a picture of, well, if Warner Brothers and these big brands are behind this thing, then maybe it is going to have significant real world value. One of the other things that's come out of it, right? So I bought this a few days ago, and I bought a bunch of others. I got 15 pineapples. I got 3 canisters that are yet to be opened. So the cool way that they did it with Theta, and I know this is done with some other NFTs as well, is it comes like wrapped up, and then if you unwrap it, then you can see what's in there. But if it's still wrapped up, then it might be a super rare one. It might be worth $50,000, $100,000, or it might be worth, the bottom at the moment is like $2,000. The top at the moment, I think, is $100,000. Those ones were at auction. The highest place paid one on the marketplace is like $50,000. And there are a bunch of like $45,000, $40,000 investments that have been made there. Now, people who have that sort of money to put into these sorts of things, they've probably got a significant financial education. They're probably significantly interested in technology. And the chances are that the people who think, oh, that's crazy, like they must not know what they're doing at all, but couldn't afford to make that decision or would really struggle to buy something like that, probably don't have as much education. Like, that kind of makes logical sense to me, that the people who can afford it are probably more educated financially and probably more ahead of the curve generally than those who would say, oh, that's crazy. Now, there are some super rich people who say that Bitcoin is crazy and the whole space is crazy and NFTs are crazy. Time will tell. Time will tell. So far, if you've been watching the space, it's progressing and it's growing very quickly. Yeah. So Cam's to the point there. Some live streaming, definitely a modern day store of value. So. Getting away from the pineapples, well, let me go a little bit deeper. So I bought the pineapple, and then I've since met a guy who is about to go skiing in Europe, and he's going here and there for a wedding, and he's a wealthy guy who also bought in at a high price on these pineapples. He's become a friend. We've got a Telegram group with Digital Dave in there. We've got Digital Asset News Dan in that group. So I don't know if I'm going to become, closer friends and contacts with these guys. I don't know if they're going to, spread the word on something that I'm doing, but there's a real possibility for that. And there are a bunch of other cool people in that group who have been early on a lot of this stuff. I haven't been super early on the crypto phase or crypto technology. I think I first bought Cardano maybe early 2019, late 2018, something like that. Like 4, 5, 6 cents Cardano was the first purchases that I made, but I had no idea what I was doing. I was listening to someone saying there's a big future in this, and I could tell that he really believed in it, and he had a background in finance and things. He was actually an Uber driver. I've done a podcast and stuff about that, but he's now a multi-millionaire. So yeah, you can be crazy listening to Uber drivers, or you might have a good feeling about things, and you might need to follow your intuition, and you might be right. So this has just shown me how real this Pineapple Society is, Secret Pineapple Society. Not only has it introduced me to a bunch of new wealthy people and people who I want to associate with, and people who are going to continue to be early to things and innovators and really positive, cool people. Like there's an awesome vibe in that group. So that is very real. Like the art, you can say, well, you can just screenshot it. that argument doesn't really hold up because it's unique and there is a unique key. You either own it or you don't own it. You can take a photo of a Ferrari in the street. That doesn't mean that you own the Ferrari. You can take a photo of the Mona Lisa, but doesn't mean you own the Mona Lisa. So that is one huge benefit that is tangible and real. It's also absolutely lit up my community. So I told a lot of the guys, there were $200 for these things, the secret pineapples, $200 for a canister. I bought one on the first drop and I bought one on the second drop. The one on the first drop went to $2,000. And I told all my buddies, like, hey, like that just happened. You might want to look at this. And so a bunch of my friends bought them on the second drop for $200. Now, some of the guys, I think the earliest I know someone cashing out was at $800. They just cashed out at a 4 times win and they're out of the game. But a lot of the guys, actually they're smarter than me. They had multiple accounts for the second drop and they got a bunch of canisters at the $200. So the energy that has come with that and the amount of new learning that's happening in my community because people decided to buy their first one. It wasn't really until I bought that $30,000 one that I was like, yeah, I better start really learning about this. But should you just go out and just jump in on new drops? What I'm doing, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm getting spammed with like NFT crap in my Instagram inbox and my Twitter inbox, and it's crap. Like, I will not touch that. I can't tell you what to do. Maybe you're going to actually win a free Tesla and you're going to win free $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and etc. But I think the chances of that are slim to none. So there's so much just scammy crap out there. Anyone can launch an NFT on a shoestring budget and like hire a bunch of people, or they just have a bunch of kind of scammers together. You can hire an audience and run up a Discord group or a Twitter group. There are all sorts of scams going at the moment. So is Theta a scam? Well, if you look at who their validator nodes are, Binance, Google, Sony, Samsung, these kind of companies, well, some would argue that they're scammers, but it's a huge credibility, multi-billion-dollar network that Theta is engaged with. On Theta Drop, they only put products, they put NFTs that it's the official stuff that they're endorsing. And my understanding of the Secret Pineapple Society is that it's really a play of Theta's to put them on the map. Like Theta have said that the biggest marketing ploy is to use NFTs, and a lot of new adopters to the crypto scene are coming through NFTs. So apparently it's like 60% of people who buy their first crypto at the moment is because of NFTs. So Theta have seen, okay, well, we need to be dominant in NFTs if we're going to get this global adoption that they're talking about. The fastest way to grow the network is through NFTs. So they built this NFT marketplace. I guess they started a good while back, but now they're a good few months into it and they have a really strong marketplace. And this was like their first project. To me, it's the first project that they were like, this is going to test. Like they got all the bugs out with a lot of smaller launches. They did a launch for BitBoy and Digital Day of the Theta Warriors and who was the other one? Well, there's a bunch of crypto celebrities and some other stars have been launched, but the pineapples is the first big one that I think like, oh, okay, they're actually, this is Theta's play to get the word out on crypto and on the Theta brand and the marketplace. And next is Katy Perry, coming soon. So they're saying pugs are crazy too, $10 to mint. We'll see. Yeah, there's all those other plays now, like the Theta pugs and the Theta punks, and all of these plays are much more likely to be something bigger because of the growth of the Theta network. But Theta has put themselves on the map, and I see this project as being like their key advertising to get themselves out to the world. Now, other projects don't have that. The point is that they're not backed by super celebrities. They're launching the official Katy Perry NFTs on the network. So this is not a small brand. You might not like Katy Perry. You might not like big brands, but there is something that goes with having multi-billion-dollar companies engaging with your product. So if you're going and looking for like random projects that are getting floated on OpenSea, so OpenSea is where they have the Ethereum blockchain product. So if you don't know about the difference between Ethereum and Theta and Bitcoin, like they're different blockchains. They're basically like different books where the ledger is kept of who bought what, who did what, when, and where. So on Ethereum, they've got their style of book. They've their style of like keeping a record of what's happened, and a lot of that's where the biggest NFT marketplace is at the moment. But it's slow and it's expensive, and it's got a lot of problems. And so it's either going to get displaced by a better company, a better solution, or it's going to come out with its 2.0, which they've been talking about since I first looked at the space. They were talking about Ethereum 2.0. Still doesn't exist. Other options are like Solana. Solana is fast and cheap, and it has become a really valuable chain, book, network, way of storing information. But my understanding of Solana is like there's nothing really behind it other than it's fast and cheap. Please comment below about what's different about it, what's special about it. And Theta is fast and cheap as well, and then lots of fast and cheap. Theta also has the last mile solution for data and is essential for virtual reality, metaverse type stuff to come online from my understanding. So that's what makes Theta unique. But to just put a project on Ethereum is very easy. Like anyone can kind of come up with a bunch of art and then say, yeah, these are on sale. They're going to be huge. They're selling at 0.1 ETH, like $400. Go and grab one, and we're going to give you, like, you're going to go in the running to win free XYZ. And it's just crap to get, if 10 people opt in and they get $4,000, then they're happy, So it is the Wild West. Like if you just go and jump into random NFT projects that you don't know who it is, what they're doing it, why they're doing it, then chances are you're just making a donation to someone who decided they want to relieve you of your money in exchange for, for not much, for ignorance. Now, there is a possibility that I've made a silly decision with these, but there isn't really a possibility that it's not a legit company and that they're not making a legit play to promote their brand. If the pineapples flop, it's going to be a big kick for Theta because it's their hardcore fans that are in on it. And so Theta want it to win, and they're going to, I think there's going to be a lot. So let's get to utility. The utility of NFT tokens is really a huge factor in whether they're valuable or not. So the thing with the Bored Ape Yacht Club is that you can write on a wall and you can potentially connect with those other Bored Ape guys. Now, there's another guy, Journey, who's a big-time YouTuber in the crypto space, who's got a really good record with NFTs, and I've watched a bunch of his stuff. He's been really big on Cardano, but he's recently launched his NFT, and to me it looks like an alternative to Patreon, where holding his NFT gets you into his exclusive information, into his club, right? So he's using the token now as his membership, and my understanding is that uncommonsuccess.com, like my business for mentoring people to become athletic, richer, smarter, we're going to have MetaMask login. I think it's like almost done to have MetaMask login to the members area. So NFT logins and things are, it's probably already being done, and it's getting closer and closer all the time. So those bigger plays, those legit NFT plays of big brands, that stuff's not going away. Utility can be built into a token. What I see is that Theta and the Secret Pineapple Society, I think they're going to build massive value for those who adopt it and for those who hold. And they've already done a drop of like a golden turkey leg on Thanksgiving. Now, my guess with the market at the moment, that golden turkey leg, I don't know, guys who are on here can give me, what would you say it'd be worth? My guess is that it would sell quite quickly at $5,000. It may sell quickly at $10,000. So that person's been gifted $5,000 or $10,000 because they've got a turkey leg NFT. They also airdropped 888 NFTs. They dropped, I think, 8 of them. And those NFTs, there's only one on the marketplace, and it's like super high price. But I would say those 888 NFTs are probably, if they put them on the market at 20,000, I'm sure they would sell quite quickly. If they put them on a 30 or 40, I'm pretty sure they would sell. So because they're very unique and they're like signature to the project. So you can see already, the point is that already they're adding value. So if Journey comes out with another killer tip, because apparently Journey owns like 50 Bored Apes. So there's 10,000 Bored Apes. They're worth 200 grand each. Apparently he owns 50-ish. If he owns 50 and he's able to spot what the next Bored Ape is, then you're crazy not to be in his club. I'm not in his club. I don't have that NFT to get in there. I looked at them when they came out because I'm super new to all this. So please drop in the comments like stuff that I'm missing, mistakes that I'm making. I'm sure there's plenty. But he's put forward the he can add value. He can add more and more value. He's already had good tips, and if he continues to have good tips, then it's just super valuable to hold that NFT. And he can keep adding value by becoming, better and smarter. The Secret Pineapple Society, they can continue to add value to make their project work by doing the drops and by connecting and collaborating with Theta, by connecting and collaborating, say for example, with Katy Perry in the coming drop, or with One Network, or with the World Poker Tour. So you can see like the real world utility of how like these projects can mesh together and do cool things. It's very clear how they can do that and add value to the token. So I would suggest looking at things where it's really clear that the project, or I'm looking for projects where it's clear that the founders of the project want to continue to add value. Another project that I'm looking at in the NFT space is a super fresh one. It's called Devolve, and it's devolvenfts.com. And it's a really good friend of mine, training partner, together with another guy who I've trained with a bit as well. So I trust people that I've trained with. They're good friends. They're very trustworthy people, and they're making a play to get into this game to a really, really high level. And they have a new kind of technology or system of gamifying NFTs. And because of that unique intellectual property, there's a chance that that project will go viral, that those NFTs will become worth, they're going to start at 0.1 ETH, or maybe the guys that are on the whitelist, which if you want to get on that, get in touch. But that maybe the first ones are going to be, 0.05 or 0.1 ETH. And there's a possibility that they're going to be worth 10 ETH or 20 ETH or 50 ETH. Like, who's to say where it goes? The reason why I don't just see it as the bullshit that I'm getting scammed with on Instagram is because I know the guys. I know that they've built like a unique smart contract that's going to be very, very difficult to replicate. I've already run it past a bunch of NFT experts, reached out to guys on Twitter and stuff. Like, my network in this is super small. My network is in strength training. Like, my background, for those who, stumbling across this stuff for the first time, like, I was a strength coach for rugby teams, and I love like holistic health and success. I've worked with a lot of gym owners and personal trainers to help them to, make more money, be happier, get better results. So that's my thing. I've come across cryptocurrencies and NFTs by necessity because I decided to become wealthy and to stop being negatively impacted by a lack of wealth and a lack of financial skills. And now that I've achieved significant wealth myself, I want to help others to do that. If I have hundreds of friends who are wealthy and really smart and really healthy, then life is just going to get better and better for me. So I'm looking at how I can use an NFT play of like, what if there was like a members site and local meetups and live calls and all this sort of stuff with the people who are in my network who I really highly value. So I know a lot of super high level athletes with profiles and big reach. I know high level coaches. I know a bunch of guys, people now in the crypto space. I have a mentor in the financial sort of space who's just a whiz with all sorts of, human psychology and just understanding how the brain works. Is probably his biggest, strength. Mentor Paul. If I can put all of that into an area that people can get to, and lifetime access is $100, then people are probably going to want to buy those tokens. If there's only, 8,000 of those tokens, then I think they'll sell. And then I think we can continue to add value to that community. And so I'm looking at, like, this is one way, or possibilities of ways that how these projects can work. And yeah, there's interesting structures about how value can be added. the Devolve project, what's interesting there, what they've done, which is really cool, is 5% of the turnover of the token goes back to the users. So they've built it from the start with the user in mind. And that's really how NFTs work. This is something really important to understand as well, that NFTs, the NFT communities, like the people who bought these secret pineapples, they already love each other. Like there's guys jumping on this live stream. There's so much support and there's so much care, because if any of us add value to the community, then it's actually putting money in the pockets of the other Secret Pineapple Society people. So any collaboration that we can come up with, any value that we can add. We've already seen Digital Dave say, hey, yeah, if you've got one of these pineapples, you can come to Thailand to his island party in Thailand. So he's a guy who's been really successful in the crypto space, really genuine guy. The people who follow his Patreon and stuff say it's super high value. And he's just a lovely guy. If you look at his stuff on YouTube, you can tell that he's a really genuine, high-quality human. And he said, yeah, come to Thailand, come to my party. And so for the 8,000 people who have a pineapple, they can go to his party. Like anyone can choose to add value in any way. And I'm going to be innovating to add value to Secret Pineapple Society, because I'm heavily, I'm invested in it. And if I can add value to it, then it's going to get better. With Devolve, what they're doing is, so whenever there's a sale, let's zoom out again. When there's a sale, 10% of it goes as a fee. Now, 2.5% of that usually goes to the exchange, and then 7.5%, I think this is how it works on OpenSea, 7.5% goes to the founder of the project, which usually gets split between the person who did the art and like royalties, that kind of stuff, 7.5%. So what they're doing with Devolve is 5% of that goes into a pool that can actually be cashed out by the owners of the tokens. So you have to look into the tokenomics of it, or make another video if you want to see about what's going on with Devolve NFTs.com. But you can check it out there if you go to DevolveNFTs.com. You can check out you can find the white paper. But what they're doing is putting the money, like 5% of those fees go back to the people who are actually in the project. So you can see that they've designed the project with the user in mind of how they can add value. So they're adding value there with money. There's other ways that they're looking to add value, collaborating with artists and things like that. But it's really the community that will make it. So now we have this little community of Devolve people with my friends there, and it's up to us to decide if this project is going to go viral. Like, yes, the technology has to be good. The art doesn't really matter that much, in my opinion, but people might argue with me on that. But what's going to decide, the biggest thing is like how strong the community is, and how much sway and energy is in the community. And the technology is good from the way people are looking at it. So that's what NFTs are. They're this really collaborative thing, and it's like how much value can be added. So if you're looking at a project, think about like what would make this really attractive to someone, outside of the art. Let me look at a couple of comments there. And long thinking strategy depends on the person who received it. If the person knows what they have, 15K. So I think that was the speculation on the prices of where these drops are coming in. Maybe 5 to 8K for the turkey leg, I guess. I think the triple eights, I would say, would be more than that, but I'd be open to hear your speculation on that. There's some big influencers and companies coming behind this. Like, is Katy Perry going to own a pineapple? Like, are these super celebrities going to get or own a pineapple? My guess, my very strong intuition, is that every super celebrity who comes onto the Theta network in the next months and years, and they've obviously got really strong links with entertainment. Some people are entertainment NFTs that they've released there on the pineapples are movies that are coming out in 2022. So I'm just giving you a picture of how value can be added. And you can wear a Rolex, like you see my Rolex. I don't really wear fancy clothes and all that sort of business. But if people want to roll up in a Rolex and a Ferrari, well, the new Rolex and the Ferrari on Twitter is your NFT. Like, that's what you've got. You've got your little bio, but the picture says 1,000 words. everybody's going to want something cool in their NFT place, which is where the picture is now. That's going to be an NFT place, and I think Twitter's already announced that they're bringing that technology forward. So it's going to be worth a lot more than a Rolex, a lot better than having a holiday house on the other side of the country. As far as kind of bragging rights and status goes, it's also a sign of were you early? Are you a thinker? Because if these pineapples do happen to become something that are just as well known, The Rock posted something that kind of suggested that he was thinking about pineapples. Like, if all of these guys have a pineapple in the not too distant future, and you've got one as well, like, it's either shows that you're super rich or you're super smart because you got in early before they were expensive. Now, they could go to nothing. Like, I'm not giving you financial advice. And to be honest, like, I'll be fine if nothing good happens with these pineapples. It'll be a bit of a bruise to the ego. It'll be a bit of a hit to my reputation because I have been early on a bunch of things, and it's not ideal. But question there from Neil. Do you think the 888 early drop will be of any benefit? I would guess not, just because the hash numbers were all over the place. Like, they weren't really the low numbers from my understanding. And I actually sold my first one. That's the only one that I sold. I put it on the market just kind of playing around, and then I forgot about it. And then the market kept going up, and it got bought. I probably undersold it by a couple of $100, but I don't actually own my first one, so I kind of hope they don't. But that's a bit selfish of me, isn't it? No, like, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be that special just because they didn't have a different hash. So that to me tells me. But there are all sorts of projects now that are doing this. So it's like, choose your community, and then it's kind of like a fight to get into a community that's going somewhere and to then add value to that community. So yeah, good on you. You're much smarter than me holding on to it. I wouldn't be selling. There's so many signs, and even just the fact of the connections. Like, you're welcome to join our group with Digital Dave and Digital Asset News, and there are a bunch of other super smart guys in there. I'm sure there's some wealthy guys in there, and everyone's early to Theta, so everyone in there's got something going for them if they're there. So if you own a pineapple, you're welcome to join our Telegram group. My guess is that there are gonna be all sorts of opportunities that come up just from that Telegram group. Like, not even talking about what secrets, the Grove is like the members area of Secret Pineapple Society. But I hope this paints a picture of what an NFT is. I think one of the key things is as like a ticket is one of the key concepts of like access to a member site. But yeah, some of the guys were commenting, like, we already have a connection, and humans are by nature very, very tribal, and the connections really do matter. The stronger your connections are, the better life will be. So I hope this sheds some light on sort of why I'm talking about NFTs and how I think they can really positively impact humanity. I think they can positively impact humanity because there's an issue with what we're doing with money at the moment, and people don't know. We don't know what's coming next. So you look to store. What I'm thinking about is looking to store wealth outside of something that's being printed at in high quantity. So if you're playing Monopoly and someone just keeps opening up other boxes of Monopoly and just adding more and more money into the game, then it really distorts the game, and that's kind of what's going on. So you have to be thinking about, like, okay, well, this is one option, there's another option, there's another option. To me, it's clearly another option. So make your own calls, do your own research, and be connected with people who are having intelligent conversations. And if you have any questions, feedback, thoughts, please drop in the comments. And appreciate everyone who jumped on live as well. It means a lot to me. So thank you for your support. Thank you for everyone who likes and subscribes, anyone who shares. This is the first of these. So if you want to see more of them, then let me know.